From Hollywood, it's time now for Edmund O'Brien as
Johnny Dollar.
Hank Layson at Intercommercial, Johnny. Say, did you ever hear the Caligio diamond?
Doesn't strike a chord.
Worth about $200,000 on the open market.
It's insured and it's been stolen, right?
Well, can't say definitely that it's been stolen, but it's gone. The owner's name was Benson, lived here in Hartford.
Why the past tense?
They found him last night in his study, murdered.
Edmund O'Brien in another transcribed adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Intercommercial Insurance Companies of America, Home Offices, Hartford, Connecticut. Attention, Henry Layson. The following is an accounting of my expenditures during investigation of the Caligio diamond matter. Expense account item 1, $1.20 taxi fare to the western part of town where the better homes are situated. Mr. Charles Benson's home was back from the street and encircled with a high, well-trimmed hedge. The black wreath was already on the door. A young lady, very pretty in a black dress, received me in the study.
You're Mr. Dollar?
That's right.
Mr. Layson phoned and said you were on your way.
I hate about a matter like this right now. Miss Benson, is it?
Yes. It's quite all right. Maybe if I go over it all again, it'll help me realize that it's happened. That Dad's gone. It's still like a bad dream. The beginning was when Dad bought the Caligio diamond.
When was that?
About 3 years ago in Italy. He bought it from a diamond trader who'd just come into Florence from South Africa.
Your father had interest there?
No, he was just a tourist. He'd heard about this diamond from a friend of his, a collector. Seems the diamond had belonged to a minor official to the Medicis, a man named Caligio. It was given to him in return for a favor. Since then, it's passed from hand to hand until Dad bought it.
What did he pay for it, do you know?
About $200,000, or the Italian equivalent at that time in lira. But, Mr. Dollar, the diamond has a strange history.
Now, don't tell me there's a curse on it.
No, nothing like that. But I guess it amounts to the same thing. Everyone who's owned the diamond has died with it in his possession. Died violently.
There's nothing particularly mysterious about that. Anything worth as much as that piece of glass is worth killing for. Say, who's living with you here now?
My mother. Just the two of us. You have no idea how hard it's been for her, Mr. Dollar. She's hardly been out of her room since Dad died.
Can you tell me about last night, Miss Benson?
Well, I was out with Bob, I can say. We were out till about 3. Dad was home alone. He had a habit of reading very late. In this room, as a matter of fact. The light in the study was on when we came in. The only light on in the house. Bob and I went in. Dad's back was to the door.
Please go on.
He was slumped over in his chair facing the window. His book had dropped to the floor. The wall safe was wide open, and on the desk was the velvet-lined box the diamond was kept in. The diamond was gone. Dad had a bullet hole in his temple.
I see. He kept the diamond right on these premises?
Always. We warned him time after time not to. We told him to keep it in his safety deposit box at the bank, but he refused. Always said that a diamond wasn't worth having unless you kept it in your possession and enjoyed it.
Who knew about the diamond, Miss Benson?
Oh, so many people. Family, of course. Myself, Bob. The papers were filled with the news when Dad came back with it from Italy.
Well, I mean, who knew where it was? Who knew the combination of the safe?
Nobody but Dad. And, of course, Mother. Oh, yes, and Mr. Corrigan.
Who's Mr. Corrigan?
Dad's lawyer. Dad kept the will in there and a few other papers that Mr. Corrigan would come and get every once in a while.
Well, Corrigan came into the house and got papers out of your dad's safe any time he wanted to?
Any time he wanted to.
I think I'd better talk to Mr. Corrigan before I go any further.
Now, Mr. Dollar, Mr. Corrigan wouldn't have stolen
Probably not. But we'd better have a talk just the same. I'd like to have his address, please. Expense account item 2, 80 cents taxi fare to Main Street where Mr. Corrigan's office was located. An elevator ride and a walk down a marble hall took me to the frosted glass door on which was printed Corrigan and Bishop, attorneys at law. I talked myself past the receptionist and the secretary and wound up refusing a cigar from Corrigan himself.
You're in the insurance business?
The investigation end. I understand you were Mr. Benson's lawyer.
That's right. Mr. Benson had the utmost... Oh, excuse me. Yes. No, Vermont maple. 45,000 is way too much. Yes, in board feet. Have them ship it from Montpelier, if that's the case. Well, have them try to get it down then. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Dollar, Mr. Benson and I were associated for about 15 years in one way or another. We went to school together. It was a terrible shock to learn of it. Oh, excuse me. Who? Oh, put him on. Harry, what's with Chicago? No, same thing. No, she's in Arizona. Arthritis. Well, a little better. You know how it is. Yeah, we'll do that. And my love, Danny. Okay, you bet, Harry. Yeah, you bet. Sure. Bye. Now, you're here about the diamond or about the life insurance policy?
The diamond.
Well, the diamond is a very rare item. Whoever got into the safe knew the combination.
I understand there weren't many who knew the combination.
Well, that's true. Mr. and Mrs. Benson and myself are the only ones. I suppose I'm the prime suspect. But, of course, these safe crackers, they use a stethoscope these days. You probably know more about that than I do. Oh, excuse me. Who? Oh, yes, put him on. Yes, Jays. Oh, it is? Oh, swell. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Yeah, very young man. 45. Oh, yes. Terribly upset. Well, yes, she's due here at about, any minute now. We're going to make the arrangements. Oh, I wouldn't let her go near the place, no. I certainly tell her. Yeah, you bet. Yeah, you bet. You bet. Yeah, bye. Well, exactly what did you want to know, Mr. Dollar?
Anything that would help us locate the diamond.
Well, have you talked to the police?
No, I thought I'd amble around among the persons involved first.
Well, as I say, you probably know more about that than I do. I wish there was something I could say, but the last time I saw George Benson was about 2 weeks ago.
You think this was an outside job?
Well, that's my opinion, but it's sheer speculation. Oh, excuse me. Oh, she is? Well, send her in, please. I hope you won't mind, Mr. Dollar. That's Mrs. Benson. I'm taking her down to the dressmaker's.
Oh, I see.
Why don't you go out that door?
Fine. Oh, thanks, Mr. Corrigan.
It's quite all right. Anything else I can do, you'll let me know.
You bet. I didn't leave. I stood in the little outer room and sneaked a listen through the door. There was some reason why Mr. Corrigan had rushed me out one door while Mrs. Benson came in another one. I heard some things that made the whole case of the Caligio diamond a lot more interesting. I pushed the door open a crack.
Darling.
Oh, Dad.
You look lovely in black.
I'm going out of my mind. All those people calling, having to act unhappy.
Well, this is your opportunity to be a real actress.
I'm awful at tears.
You're beautiful.
Stan, what if somebody should see us?
Well, let them see us. What do I care? We're as free as birds. There's a little place down in Bermuda, a resort. I got a folder the other day. Beautiful place to have. You won't believe how beautiful. And as soon as it's proper...
What about Kitty?
Well, I told her before I left that I wanted a divorce. I told her, and she knows it. That's why she went to Arizona. Get away to think things over. I didn't want to hurt her, but I wanted her to know.
Darling, I can't believe it. It's too good to be true. But we've got to be careful.
Ah.
Very careful. Well, let's go. We'll be late.
Darling, I love you.
On that somewhat touching note, I quietly closed the office door, turned toward the door that would lead me out into the corridor, put my foot to a rough edge of carpet, and promptly fell flat on my face. This brought Corrigan running.
I thought you were gone, Mr. Dollar.
I thought so, too.
Do you consider it quite ethical listening at keyholes?
Didn't you know? Investigation is just a very polite word for snooping, Mr. Corrigan.
Who is it, Stan?
He's an insurance investigator.
You heard everything?
Not everything, Mrs. Benson. Just enough to tell me that black is not your color.
No, it isn't. I loathe black.
Ditto your husband.
I tolerated my husband, Mr. Dollar.
You don't have to explain anything to him, darling. He's just an insurance man.
The police might be interested to know about this little relationship. There are a number of angles here. Could be that you and Mrs. Benson killed Mr. Benson and removed the diamond to make the whole thing look like robbery.
Yes, Mr. Dollar, it could be. I welcome any police investigation.
Fine, I'll go right over.
Wait. I don't think right now would be quite the opportune time. Guilty or not guilty, I have a reputation.
In the light of that corny love scene you two just played, I can't imagine why.
Mr. Dollar.
Sorry. Well, what do we do? All stand around embarrassed? Let's have it. Why did I get the Rush Act out of your office?
Well, that's simple, Mr. Dollar. I was afraid that Diane would give away our relationship.
He's right. I'm not a very good actress.
When did this thing start?
Must you know everything?
I think so.
About 7 years ago.
The wool you were pulling over Benson's eyes must be pretty worn by now.
We did nothing to be ashamed of.
I resent this. I resent the whole thing. I don't think I want to tell you anything more, Mr. Dollar.
I don't blame you. And you know, it's all kind of dull anyway. I'll go to the police. They'll probably have something much more interesting. Don't worry, Corrigan. I'm not going to breathe a word of this unless I feel it necessary. But I never made it to police headquarters. I got out in the street when a very large, very quiet man in a brown and white sports shirt stopped me.
Mr. Dollar,
Yes?
you like some information?
About what?
The fifth, the tropical.
I never play the ponies.
These ponies you play. Hop in.
Thanks. No.
Oh, come on. Hop in.
Is that dangerous, that steel thing in your pocket?
How very discerning of you to recognize the outline. Inside.
Right.
Okay, Bunny. Relax, Dollar.
Where are we going?
You're going to sleep.
I awoke with a groan in my own apartment. Nobody was there, but nobody. As soon as I could focus my eyes, I tried to lift myself off the floor. After 5 tries, I managed to turn my head. What I saw made me want to go back to sleep again. The place was a mess. There wasn't 1 inch that hadn't been gone over with what must have been a tractor. Every drawer in the place had been turned upside down. The problem was reaching the phone. It was all of 10 feet away, but it might have been 10 miles. I started to crawl. About halfway to it, I grabbed hold of the cord. I pulled the phone toward me until I got my hands on the receiver.
Hello? Hello, Johnny? Hello?
Hello?
Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny.
Johnny, you sound awful.
Yeah, I can understand it.
Well, what'd you find out about the Caligio diamond?
You were right.
About what?
It's gone.
Well, that's brilliant. Who took it?
I don't know.
Well, what are you doing to find out?
Right now, I'm just lying around. Somebody gave me a tumble.
Say, are you drunk?
You better send a doctor. I think I'm going to pass out again.
Johnny? Johnny? Hello? Johnny?
Johnny,
I can't talk to you now.
I'm not on the phone. I'm here.
Huh? Oh. You look funny with 4 heads. Well, I might as well put this phone up.
Oh, come on. Stop that nonsense. Now, look, I hate to bother you with business, but what happened to you?
I'll tell it all to the police.
You think I want the police in on this?
Well, why keep them out?
Publicity for the company. I want the public to think Intercommercial is able to take care of itself. Now, come on, what happened?
Somebody asked me for a ride. Asked me if I wanted a ride. Then they gave it to me.
Oh, that looks like they were looking for something. Did you have something they might have been looking for?
If I had something they were looking for, I wouldn't know it. But they must have thought I had something they were... Look, I'm going round and round already. Ask me no questions.
Have you got any idea what it might be they were looking for?
Maybe the diamond.
Yeah, say, maybe the diamond. See, that's right. That could be.
Now go away.
Well, we'll take you off the case and put someone else on, so you can have a nice rest.
Oh, no, you don't.
Well, I thought that would pep you up.
Yeah, money always does. Now get out of here and let me fasten my head back on.
You want something?
Yeah. Get me an aspirin. Hello?
Mr. Dollar,
Yeah?
this is Betty. Betty Benson.
Oh, yeah, sure. How are you?
Mr. Dollar, the police have just been here.
What happened?
They found the gun that killed Dad
Oh, good. Where was it?
in my purse.
return to the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in just a moment. For an hour of rapid-fire entertainment, the show goes on. It's the show for you these Friday nights on most of these same CBS stations. It's an intimate glimpse into a fascinating angle of backstage life. A series of honest-to-goodness auditions for jobs in theater, nightclubs, and radio. The singers and comedians you hear are face-to-face with managers, agents, and bookers ready to hire them on the spot, take an option, or turn thumbs down. Be sure to hear The Show Goes On and its latest acts this Friday night. Now, with our star, Edmund O'Brien, we return to the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account item 3, taxi fare again. $1.30 to the Hartford City Jail, where an old buddy of mine by the name of Lieutenant Parnell was quizzing Miss Benson with the nastiest bunch of leading questions I've ever heard.
Now, why did you kill your father, Miss Benson? Oh, come on. We'll make it much easier for you if you
Hey, Parnell. Come on, give her a break.
Oh, the insurance man. I wondered when you'd be over. Hey, what happened to your head?
When I find out, I'll let you know. Don't let him talk you into a thing, Betty. Get a good lawyer.
Well, for one thing, Corrigan is on his way over. For another, the best lawyer in the world couldn't do it any good. The gun had her prints all over it.
Would I put a murder weapon in my purse with my fingerprints on it, Lieutenant? Now, would I?
If you didn't have time to get rid of the gun, why not?
You're getting woozy, Lieutenant. Why don't you take a break? They've got the Giants game on the radio out there. Why not go out and see how they're doing?
No. I might miss something, Dolly. Maybe you can do better with it than I can. I'll just sit down over here and listen. All right, now, how's that?
Fine. Okay, now, Betty. How did the gun get into your purse?
I don't know, Mr. Dollar. The lieutenant was searching through my room and found this purse. And there it was. But I didn't carry that purse the night Dad was killed. I haven't used that purse in a long time. Somebody put the gun in there.
Can you prove it?
Well, no.
Nobody saw you that evening, huh?
Nobody but Bob.
Bob, your boyfriend, huh?
All right, now I've got the necessary papers. You leave her alone. Dollar, what are you doing here?
I just came over to add to the confusion.
Betty, are you all right?
Hello, darling. I'm all right.
Looks like Grand Central Station.
Come on, Betty. We'll have you out of here in jig time.
This is Bob Gorman, my fiancé, Mr. Dollar and Lieutenant Parnell.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, that was nice. Like a Washington hostess. Now, let's try to wind this thing up. Mr. Corrigan, were you anywhere in the vicinity of the Benson home the night Mr. Benson was murdered?
Absolutely not.
Oh, yes, you were. You were visiting Betty's mother.
That's a deliberate lie. I was nowhere near... I don't know why I'm submitting to intimidation from you, Gorman.
Seems to be a little difference of opinion here, Lieutenant.
Mm-hmm. You were quite a comfort to Mrs. Benson during the period of her bereavement, weren't you, Corrigan?
I refuse to answer on the grounds that it might incriminate me.
You're darn right it would incriminate you. The way you've been carrying on with Mrs. Benson, everybody knows about
Bob.
it. No, I'm going to get it off my chest. Betty's father was no sooner dead than he was hustling Mrs. Benson this place and that
Why,
place.
you young...
Temper, Mr. Corrigan. Let's save that for the jury.
He can't make accusations like that.
They aren't just accusations, Mr. Corrigan. They're true. Nobody had a better reason to kill Dad than you did.
Love, huh?
Say, anybody in this room happen to know where the Caligio diamond is?
No.
Huh. I didn't think so.
But if
Mr.
you'd like to know
Corrigan,
my
I
idea...
perfectly well that...
I just wanted to say goodbye. Okay, now go ahead.
If you'd
Mr.
like to know
Corrigan,
who I
you
think...
know,
wait,
perfectly
wait,
well
wait,
that-
Expense account item 4, $12.20 miscellaneous taxi fares all over the place. I went on a little visit to Corrigan's apartment and found something of interest. A little slip of paper on which was written in the highest form of legal language, of course, I owe you $2,000, George Benson. I worked my way into Bob Gorman's apartment. There I found a bill from the Garant Detective Agency. Then to police headquarters again, where I found a picture of a man who was tall and thin and had a little, well-trimmed mustache. Then I went home, where I found a man who was tall, thin, and had a little, well-trimmed mustache. He was drinking my bourbon. You're drinking my bourbon.
It's lousy bourbon.
Look what you did to my head.
It's an improvement.
All right, what do you want?
The diamond. What else?
I don't have it.
I don't believe it.
Well, search the place.
I already did. Well, I guess that does it. I'll see you later.
Don't go.
Out of the way.
I said don't go.
You crazy...
Okay. Drop the gun.
Let go.
Now, sit down and finish your drink.
I didn't come here alone. If I'm not downstairs in 3 minutes, you'll come up.
The more the merrier. Who do you work for?
Myself.
That's right, friend. I want all the excuse I can get to beat the pulp out of you.
Go on. Now cut it.
Who do you work for?
Corrigan.
What's the deal?
He wanted me to get the gun.
So you planted it in Betty's purse.
I didn't. And I didn't kill Benson either. I went to get the gun, but it was gone. And I thought you had it, but you didn't have it.
So you were working for Corrigan?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's start all over again. Who do you work for?
I told you, Corrigan.
This isn't going to be much fun for you, friend.
Now listen, lay off of me. I'm telling you the truth. I tell you the truth, and you keep on hitting me. Now, that ain't fair.
Who do you work
for? Oh, okay. Mrs. Spence.
What's the deal?
She hired me to get the diamond.
Why?
She killed her husband so she'd get away with Corrigan. She wanted me to break in and get the diamond so it looked like robbery, see? Robbery and murder, see?
Here we go again.
Will you leave me be?
I can keep this up all night if I have to.
Why don't you tell me who you think I work for, then, instead of beating up on me?
I want to hear it from you. Look, chum, since you knocked me on the head, I get spells of bad temper.
All right. All right. The Garand Detective Agency.
Now we're getting someplace, Vic.
How did you know my name?
Well, it's a byword in every precinct police station from here to Ishpeming. You were hired by Bob Gorman.
I was hired by Bob Gorman.
You killed Benson.
I don't know who killed Benson.
What were you hired for?
To get the diamond. Bob's got it in his apartment.
Do I start working on you
No,
again?
don't act so tough now.
Well, who's got the diamond?
Corrigan. Well, look, if you've got all the answers, what are you asking me for?
Vic, my boy, I'm amazed. I've seen liars in my time, but I've never run across anything like you. How can you do it with such a straight face, huh?
Years of practice.
Now, I'll tell you the truth as you see it.
Don't you hit me no more now.
Bob Gorman hired you. That's the truth, all right, and he hired you to get the diamond. But you didn't find the diamond there. You found Benson dead.
I walked in there. I'm telling you, I was never more surprised in my life. There was Benson in that chair. I hired out to do a lot of things. But murder, that's not for me. There ain't money enough in the world to make me commit murder.
Slugging, you do.
For good money.
Vic, I'm not interested in who killed Benson. Personally, I don't think you know. I want to know where the diamond is.
How do I know where the diamond is? It was gone when I got there. I thought you had it. That's why I slugged you. Period.
All right, Vic. I'm tired. I got a splitting headache. Finish your drink and get out of here.
No, thanks. It really is lousy bourbon.
Things were as dark as ever. Vic was no help. I knew Bob hired him, but that was all I knew. The next stop seemed to me to be Bob himself. I called him and told him to come over. He was very accommodating. A half hour later, he was tapping gently at my door.
Hello, Mr. Dollar.
Come on in. Don't mind the dirty glass on the table there. I just got through entertaining one of your employees.
One of my employees?
I believe he said his name was Vic. Vic Hastings.
Never heard of him.
Come on, Bob. You can be yourself with me. Vic talked to me like a brother.
I never heard of him.
You may not be conscious of it, Bob, but you're in plenty of trouble. The police are looking for the diamond, and they're sure whoever has the diamond killed Mr. Benson. I'm just an insurance investigator. I have nothing to do with the police department.
All right, Mr. Dollar. I did hire Vic Hastings. I sent him after the diamond.
You thought I had it?
Yes. When he found out you didn't, he came back and threatened me. He wanted money. I didn't have any, but I told him I'd give him a cut when I got it.
Is this a regular business of yours, stealing diamonds?
Look, Mr. Dollar, I didn't kill Mr. Benson.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you about the diamond.
I heard about the diamond when Mr. Benson bought it. I had to have it. I wasn't going to sell it, not then. I just wanted it. I crashed a party at the Benson house about 4 or 5 months ago. I met Betty, and I started to date her.
That's as good a way as any.
Oh, you've got it wrong, Mr. Dollar. Sure, I wanted to get at the diamond. That's why I started taking Betty out. But things are different. I love her. We want to get married.
Very sweet. Only you didn't hire Vic to get the diamond 4 or 5 months ago, Gorman. So get that pleading look out of your eyes. You don't do a thing to me.
You're not going to the police.
Put it down, Gorman.
Stay where you are. Don't try to follow me or I'll blow your head off. So long, Dollar.
Parnell speaking.
This is Dollar, Lieutenant. Better send out a code 1 on Bob Gorman.
What's he wanted for?
Well, you can call it suspicion of murder. Expense account item 5, 120 taxi fare to the Benson home. I found Mrs. Benson in a sad state upstairs due to her husband's death and her daughter's incarceration.
Why must you pester me about a thing like this now, Mr. Dollar? Haven't you any consideration?
Sorry, Mrs. Benson, but it's a job. The sooner we get over this hurdle, the better off we are. Now, I know all about your relationship with Corrigan.
All of that has nothing to do with the case.
Well, perhaps not.
I know who killed my husband, and I know why, and I know who has the diamond.
Who?
I can't prove it. I couldn't take it into a court of law.
Well, let me worry about that. What's your idea, Mrs. Benson?
Bob Gorman.
Why do you think he did it?
He has a violent temper. He hated George, hated him like poison. George never wanted him to marry Betty.
Sorry, that motive doesn't click with me. Now, let me tell you who killed your husband. You and Corrigan.
How dare
you? wanted to get rid of him. You two were the only ones who knew the combination of the safe. You took the diamond and killed Benson.
Why, you...
And you planted the gun in Betty's purse.
Do you mean to suggest that I would try to make my own daughter out to be a murderess?
That's just what you hoped the police would think. That if anybody were framing your daughter, it wouldn't be you. You knew the police would clear Betty because she was nowhere near the house when the murder occurred. And you thought they'd assume that Bob Gorman planted the gun in Betty's purse.
That's a lie.
Come on, Mrs. Benson. It's all out in the open now.
Stay where you are, Dollar.
Corrigan. I was expecting you.
You're pretty good at this business of investigation, aren't you? It's a shame to have to end such a brilliant career.
Well, that's the way it goes. Here today, gone tomorrow. You aren't going to mess up Mrs. Benson's pretty bedroom, are you?
Not at all. We'll just go out the back way. Open the door, Dollar.
Glad to. After you. He's all right, Mrs. Benson. Come on, get up, Corrigan. The lieutenant is waiting. In case you should ask, how did you know, Mr. Dollar, that Corrigan and Mrs. Benson killed George Benson? The answer? I took a big guess. I told them my guess, and with the authority of an Illinois judge, they swallowed it and they confessed. To wind it all up, I might add the following. They got Bob Gorman. He's being sent up along with Vic Hastings. His police record makes Vic's look like a bad report card, which means Betty is going to have to look for a new boyfriend. The insurance company has saved a good deal of money. Everybody bad goes to the penitentiary. Everybody good stays free, which proves that bluff is better than logic. This time, anyway. Expense account item 6, doctor bill and miscellany for my sore head amounting to $25. Expense account total, $65.34. And that's pretty cheap. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars Edmund O'Brien in the title role, is written by Gil Dowd and David Ellis, with music composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Edmund O'Brien can soon be seen in the Columbia Pictures production 711 Ocean Drive. Featured in our cast this evening were Wally Mayer, Jane Webb, Bill Johnstone, Virginia Gregg, Stacey Harris, Bill Boucher, and Harry Bartell. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle. Join us again next week at the same time when, from Hollywood, Edmund O'Brien returns in another transcribed adventure of
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Crime goes down for the count on Friday night with two of CBS's top thrillers. Broadway is My Beat and Up for Parole, heard over most of these same CBS stations. The Gay White Way is the scene for many an exciting criminal chase with Danny Clover on Broadway is My Beat. In the actual files of parole boards across America come the stories of men and women who are up for parole. For a thrill and a chill, Broadway is My Beat and Up for Parole, fill the bill. This is CBS, where you thrill to gangbusters every Saturday night, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
For your enjoyment, Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum presents from Hollywood Edmund O'Brien as
Johnny Dollar.
Good evening. Snell, the secretary.
Oh, sure. Hi.
I was unable to reach Mr. Snell before he left for the West Coast, but he asked me to outline the case to you and hoped you'd follow him out there. It's quite serious.
Oh? What is it?
Our company has been carrying the policies on a line of pleasure boats for a West Coast sales agency, the Arrowcraft cruisers. Within the past 2 weeks, 3 of them have sunk, with no survivors.
Bad risks.
Yes. There's a liability clause. Next of kin in each case is bringing suit for nearly $1 million.
Edmund O'Brien, in another adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
To make every day more enjoyable, treat yourself often to refreshing, delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. Here's a taste treat you can enjoy indoors, outdoors, at work, or at play. The cool, long-lasting mint flavor refreshes you. The smooth, steady chewing helps keep you fresh and alert. Adds enjoyment to whatever you're doing. Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. Healthful, refreshing, delicious.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office Grand East Life and Liability Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of my expenditures during assignment to Millard Snell of your legal department on the investigation of the Arrowcraft matter. Expense account item 1, $275 air travel Hartford to Los Angeles and rented car travel from Los Angeles to Newport Beach and the heart of the trouble. Snell? Millard Snell?
Who is it?
It's Dollar.
Dollar? Hurry up. Get aboard. Now watch it. She's wet tonight. Hey, give me your arm. Come on.
Thanks.
Didn't think you were going to make it.
You talked to your secretary?
Yes, that was yesterday from Chicago.
Well, I didn't know where you were until I called her from the Los Angeles airport a couple of hours ago. Then when I got here, your hotel told me you just left to charter a boat. What's up?
Myers, how long will it be?
Robert should be here any minute, Mr. Snell. Couldn't leave without him.
All right, if you can hurry him up anyway, do it. Come on in the cabin, Dollar. Out of this foul night air. This fog. I thought it was bad sometimes in Hartford. Another cruise has been reported, Dollar.
An Arrowcraft?
Yes. Reported by a private plane between here and Catalina Island. That's 30 miles offshore.
The Coast Guard been notified?
Yes, but candidly, I hope we see it before they do. Find out what we insured. If we can find it in this fog.
Find it? You mean this one is still afloat?
Before dark, yes, barely afloat.
Robert, hurry, get aboard.
Ah, there he is, the navigator we've been waiting for. I hope he's sober.
Tell me, what have you learned so far? What makes them sink?
I don't know. The sales agent, Fred Crocker, you'll meet him, swears by Arrowcraft. Says they're one of the best hulls afloat.
Yeah, but the fact remains they've been sinking.
Uh-huh, and a tragic fact, too. The loss of life so far has been horrible. 3 28-foot boats, 11 fatalities. No trace of the cruisers, even. But a life ring or two.
Must have been deep water then. What about bodies?
7 have been recovered and 4 still missing. Ah, we're getting started.
It was 10 p.m. when we left the quiet resort village, and it was dawn when we saw in the fog what we had been unable to find during a whole night of searching. The Arrowcraft, without sign of life, was almost entirely awash, bow down in the channel swell.
That's close enough, Myers.
Right.
We don't want to nudge her. She's liable to roll over.
Well, here we are, but there's nothing we can do about her. How she stays up is beyond me.
Any chance of towing it in?
Not in that shape. Give her any weight, she'll just take more water and go down.
Can you put me aboard?
If you want to go, I can put you there, but I don't know what your weight is going to do. She's ready to roll. What do you think, Roberts?
Oh, we'll put him over the stern. That shouldn't upset her. We better get some of those clothes off, Dollar, while we swing around.
All right.
You think it's worth it? You're going aboard?
Worth it? I'm not going for a night like that without having a look at it.
Gives me the creeps. The thing awash like that. Looks dead.
Yeah, too dead. Why isn't there anyone aboard? Why isn't somebody hanging onto the side?
Okay, Dollar, we'll move into it now.
I'm ready.
Now get back there on the transom. That's it. Right there. I'll swing you right into it.
Right.
There you are. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, get off the gunwale. And stay amidships. Don't get to either side. She'll roll.
I'm all right.
Anything there?
Yeah. Yeah, there's something here. There's a girl in the cabin. Her body floated face down in the flooded cabin, held in there by the narrowness of the passageway. After an unpleasant and ticklish 15 minutes, she was lifted aboard the other boat by 3 suddenly silent men. There was little else I could do on the derelict but memorize the name and address on the certificate of ownership. So I left it and followed the girl.
Yeah, I didn't bargain for this, Dollar. It doesn't bother me to read about 11 of them, but this girl, why, she can't be over 18.
Yeah, I noticed.
You know, if it was a guy, it wouldn't hit so hard. But a kid like this, beautiful.
Myers.
Yes, sir?
Have you radioed in about this?
I waited to find out whether you want to stand by the boat or not.
No. We'll start right back. Get word to the police. Ask them to meet us. I think it's a case for them. The boat's registered to a Chester McNeil, Newport Beach address.
McNeil, Newport Beach address. McNeil, yes, all right. You want to get us started, Roberts?
Right.
What'd you find, Dollar?
Come here, look at this. See? Behind her ear. You see the bruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it when I was getting her out of the cabin.
She'd been slugged?
She could have been. There's long black hair. You see here? The water's ruined most of it, but there's still part of a braid. It could have been a hard blow, one that might have killed a man, but her braid might have softened it. I'm looking for an answer to why she was on that boat, alone and dead. It was an answer I never did actually find and prove because in the final analysis, the death of this beautiful, dark-haired girl was no more important than any of the rest of them. She was taken to the county morgue, and after making my formal statement to the police and giving them my informal theories, I followed her there.
Now, I take it that the deceased is not a personal friend of yours.
That's right, Dr. Sane. I'm an insurance investigator. I'm in Southern California because a number of people have died in the sinkings of some insured pleasure boats.
Oh, yes, the Arrowcraft?
Yes. And the death of this girl has become important to me. What's her name?
Caruso, Antonia Caruso. She was identified by her mother.
Antonia. Are you planning an autopsy?
Why do you ask?
I wonder if you noticed a bruise behind her right ear.
Yes, I reported it. You're an observant fellow.
Dr. Sane, you must have examined some of the other bodies from these sinkings. Were there any indications of violence on them?
If there were, I was unable to discover them. The period of immersion in other cases, you must understand, was much longer than in the Caruso case. Water makes it difficult. Why do you ask?
On the rest of the sinkings, the boats themselves have been blamed. But after today, it seems to me there's a possibility that something else has caused them, at least this one.
The contusions?
Yes. There were 2 other people on that boat, the owner, Chester McNeil, and his father. But the girl's body was the only one aboard. Why?
I didn't know the particulars.
I think the girl wore braids, Doctor. If she did, could she have survived a blow that would have killed the 2 men?
Protection? Well, location of the wound would bear you out behind the ear.
Could she have been knocked unconscious, been thrown overboard, and then recovered enough to get back on? Could this have happened to the girl?
Are you suggesting homicide, Mr. Dollar?
I'm not sure. Then I'm not sure why perfectly good boats start sinking without survivors, either.
They have to make autopsy examination to determine the degree of concussion.
Well, that's why I asked. Are you going to perform one?
In the state of California, Mr. Dollar, except in cases of unquestionable criminal acts, autopsy is allowed upon only permission of the next of kin. Now, this contusion, well, it could have been sustained so many ways.
Yes, I know.
Matter of fact, arrangements have already been made to move the body into a private establishment.
Oh. Could you give me her mother's address?
Why, yes, I suppose so. But I'd be doing no more than saving you a search of the phone book.
What is it you want?
Mrs. Caruso, I'm the man that found your daughter.
Oh. Then why have you come here? You shouldn't know my grief.
I do, Mrs. Caruso, but I'd like to talk with you if I could.
What is there to say? I don't want to see you. There is no room for sympathy.
I didn't know anything about your daughter, but I'd like to. I'd like to hear about her.
Why do you do this?
Because I don't think her death was accidental.
Oh, go away. Why do you say this? My girl, she never did no wrong.
I didn't mean that, Mrs. Caruso. Please, may I come in?
All right. It's my house. I'm sorry. It's not cared for. There have been so many things today.
Well, I won't stay long.
She was a good girl. She was going to marry Chester. His father was with them. She was going to marry Chester. Oh, we hoped it so much, Antonia and me, that it would be a good marriage.
Mrs. Caruso.
We always dreamed. We were good people, only poor. We give everything so Antonia will be better. She was so beautiful. She was going to marry Chester.
I'm sorry to bother you at a time like this.
Now, she's gone. I saw her.
I saw her, too. And I want to learn why she's gone. Now, Mrs. Caruso, is there any reason that you can think of why there should have been trouble on this trip in the McNeil boat?
Oh, no. They go many times. They love the boat. They go many times, always with his father to take care of them. He loved her, too. My daughter, he called her. She was going to marry his Chester. Be so happy.
Please, Mrs. Caruso.
Oh, my Antonia. Antonia. Please, go. You know my grief. Leave my house. Leave my house.
I left her house and drove back to Millard Snell's hotel. It was 7 p.m., and I hoped we could get to Crocker, the West Coast agent for Arrowcraft, before the night was out. But I found Snell white-faced when I opened the door and too anxious to show me the front page of the evening paper.
I didn't know where to find you, Dollar.
For what?
And you haven't heard. Fred Crocker, the Arrowcraft agent. He was killed this afternoon.
How?
It says traffic, hit-and-run victim. But I don't believe it. Look at this.
Violence in another form preceded the tragedy, the story said. Crocker's sales office was entered earlier today in a bold daylight strike. The interior was wrecked, but whether or not the entry was for purposes of theft has not been ascertained. The writer didn't make any definite statements, but reading between the lines, you knew that he was exploring the possibility that revenge was at the bottom of both the violence and the tragedy, that those who had lost family or friends in the Arrowcraft sinkings had wrecked Crocker's office and then killed him. But remembering the bruise behind the Caruso girl's ear, I didn't believe that either.
To make every day more enjoyable, treat yourself often to refreshing, delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. The lively, full-bodied real mint flavor cools your mouth, moistens your throat, freshens your taste. And the chewing itself gives you a little lift, helps you keep going at your best. So for real chewing enjoyment that's refreshing and long-lasting, always keep Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum handy. Healthful, delicious, Wrigley's Spearmint Gum will make every day more enjoyable. And now, with our star, Edmund O'Brien, we return you to the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Snell and I drove out to what had been Crocker's sales office. A sheriff's deputy met us outside and took us in.
Give you some light if... Oh, there's a switch. Well, not as bad as it could be. At least the drawers aren't dumped.
These are from a file cabinet. We'll start here.
What are you looking for?
Crocker's sales records.
Sales records?
The names and addresses of all the people who bought Arrowcrafts from him. I don't think we'll find it.
I don't get you.
We've got a theory that those boats didn't just sink, that they were boarded, that the people who've been lost were slugged before they were drowned, and that the boats were scuttled. What do you think of it?
Why would anybody set out to wreck Arrowcraft?
Well, that I don't know. Probably because they're linked to something important. Maybe something or somebody is on an Arrowcraft and somebody else doesn't know which one.
Here's the sales folder, Dollar. It's empty, all right.
Sure it is. That gives them the location of every Arrowcraft between here and San Diego. Sheriff, nobody has said where Crocker was when this place was entered.
They don't know yet. You got a theory?
Yeah, that he was here. Yeah, that after the list of names and addresses was taken, he was dragged out of here and killed with a car for the same reason the others have been killed. Because alive, they might have been identifying witnesses.
Well, they say everybody's got a right to his own opinion, but that's too crazy for me.
Well, I don't blame you. It's too crazy for anybody. Maybe so crazy it'll never be cleared up. Expense account item 2, $112 cost of entertainment that same night for as many members of the press as I could get hold of. They listened to my theory, agreed that it was unbelievable, but worth printing on the grounds of sensationalism. The story made the morning editions, most of the papers slanting it towards warning the Arrowcraft owners listed in Crocker's stolen records. But it didn't look so unbelievable because it had a companion piece. A night watchman at one of the yacht clubs lay near death from gunshot wounds after apprehending a prowler aboard an Arrowcraft. The prowler was being held at the county jail. Who is this guy, Sergeant?
Jerry LaBarber's the name he uses. We put a search on him last night. He's one of those things you call a known hoodlum because nobody's been able to pin much on him. Known to the police in Las Vegas, L.A., and San Diego, to name a few. Here he is. I hope you had better luck with him than we did.
If you meant that, you'd leave me alone with him for the rest of the day.
Sorry. Off the bunk, LaBarber. You got a visitor. On your feet. Stand up.
Okay, hero, you got me up. What's the matter with you?
What's missing, LaBarber?
What?
What's lost? What were you looking for on the Arrowcraft? Come on, who are you working for?
I'm out of work. Why don't you save your breath?
How many of the other killings were you mixed up in?
What are the killings? I get into a scrape with an eager night watchman, and now you talk about pinning other killings on me. What is this?
Who are you working for?
I'm out of work.
You could do yourself some good, you know.
I'm not complaining, am I?
You were off to a pretty good start. Even if that watchman lives, you're going to be tried for assault with intent to kill. That's a long rap. You might make it shorter by using your head.
Is that a promise? Don't make me laugh.
You're a sucker, LaBarber. But this is a promise. I'm going to see you charged for Crocker's murder.
Who's Crocker?
And I'm going into the business of searching Arrowcrafts myself. Don't be stupid. Why not put the blame where it belongs?
Blame for what?
Okay, Sergeant, I've had enough.
So have I.
I wonder how long it takes to get that way. For what?
I could buy and sell you, you cheap tin star.
Well, what do you think?
He's covering for somebody, isn't he?
Hank, you're right. You shouldn't have tipped your hand so much about searching the boats. Word's going to get out.
Out of a jail cell?
He called for a lawyer, one of the hot men from L.A. We can refuse him visitors, but not a private session with a criminal who happens to be his lawyer.
Oh, I'd like to hear that one.
You should. It's going to put a bigger bullseye on your back than that newspaper story did.
There was no trouble that day and no progress. We had time to contact 2 Arrowcraft owners that afternoon and went aboard their boats. Nothing came of it but a feeling of frustration because we didn't know what we were looking for, how large or small it was, whether to empty fire extinguishers or break and open batteries. That night, the news broke that the night watchman had died of his wounds. Snell and I made an attempt at eating dinner and took a bottle of cognac to my room to see what it could do. The phone call came at 9:30. Hello?
Hello?
Well, this is Dollar speaking. Who's this?
I'm in a phone booth, so don't bother trying to trace this call. It's about the boat trouble.
All right. What about it?
Not over the phone. You have to come up here.
Where do I meet you?
I've got to be careful. You'll know why when I talk to you. You have to come alone.
What else?
There's a place called Leeds Bar. It's on Long Beach Boulevard, 3 blocks up from the beach. You'll see the sign.
I'll find it.
You can make it in an hour. But you've got to be alone.
I will be.
All right. 11:15.
What was that?
Some girl says she wants to talk about the Arrowcrafts. Wants me to meet her in Long Beach.
Don't be ridiculous. You're not going.
Somebody has to do something.
Nothing as foolhardy as this. You've been expecting them to make a move. Here it is. You don't for a minute think she's telling the truth.
I won't find out sitting here swilling brandy with you. I wasted 10 minutes in Newport circling through alleys and side streets to shake any tail that might have been put on me. And then I headed up the Coast Highway. At exactly 10:45, I was ordering a drink in Leeds Bar. It arrived simultaneously with a metallic nudge in the ribs from a man who had taken the stool on my right.
Drink it, Dollar. We've got to go.
I was supposed to get a message from a girl.
You've had it. Come on, drink up.
All right.
Now leave. I'll meet you outside the door.
Do I get to talk with this girl?
She's outside.
Okay.
This way. Here's the car. No, you get in the front with her. I'll get in back.
Where to now?
Just a little way. You weren't followed?
I made it a point not to be. Huh? You wanted to talk.
Yeah, I do. I don't know what's going to happen to me, but I don't think I care anymore. It's been like I killed all those people who've died.
Take it easy, honey.
You mean their deaths are your fault?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, I could have stopped it, but I was afraid to because one of his men would have killed me. And I thought he'd stop me for this.
He? Who do you mean? Hey, watch what you're going.
You better stop, Gwen. This is as good a place as any.
Yeah. I didn't go to the police because I have a record. And he's so powerful, he could have made it look like blackmail and it wouldn't have gone any farther.
Who is so powerful?
George Masterson.
George Masterson? Who's he?
He seems like a businessman. He owns a line of furniture stores. I've known him for 3 years. It was one of those things where, every once in a while I'd learn something about him. Until I finally understood what he really was. And he knew I did.
What kind of payment do you expect for what you're telling me?
Dollar.
I hadn't thought of money. I swear I hadn't.
All right. Go ahead.
Masterson's as far outside the law as you can get. Narcotics, jewels and furs, aliens, Mexican gold, anything. He runs the West Coast for a combination that has headquarters in Italy.
Who knows this?
I do. And I wrote it all down. Ways to prove it. Like the names he uses for all his bank accounts to evade income tax. All of it. That's what he's been looking for on those boats.
Well, then he was
Writing
afraid.
it down was the only way I could think of to protect myself. He was afraid of me because I knew so much about him. He was going to have me killed. We were in Mexico when I told him, Ensenada. When he didn't believe me, I showed him a copy. I told him I'd hidden the original on a boat I'd visited, and that if he killed me, I had a way of letting the police know which one.
Which one is it?
I was lying to him. I didn't put it on a boat. I was lying. Arrowcraft was only a name I remembered. When he asked me, I said Arrowcraft.
You mean there's nothing on those boats and 16 people have died?
I know. I know I was wrong. I should have. Oh, Oh, when you're scared, you only think of yourself.
Don't, Gwen, honey. You'll be all right. This paper you say you wrote, where is it?
I have it here. I want you to take it.
Now, get out, Dollar. I want to take her home. I didn't fully believe her until I had finished reading her denunciation of George Masterson after they'd left me. But by the end of it, I knew that in my hands was the hottest document in California. I knew that hundreds of rotten lives could be crumbled and millions of dollars in criminal traffic could be stopped. And it did away with the possibility of any suit against Arrowcraft or your company. But it wasn't enough. I should have gone to the authorities with it then. Instead, I took a room for the night and mailed it to the FBI in the morning. Then I went after Masterson. I found him in a plush office in one of his furniture stores.
Here. Just a moment, sir. You can't go in there. Mr. Masterson.
What's the meaning of this? You're announced before you get in here.
Not this morning, Masterson.
I'm sorry, sir.
Get somebody to throw this man out. What's the matter with you? Who are you?
Johnny Dollar, working on the Arrowcraft sinkings. Gwen Thomas. I've read her statement.
I don't know what you're talking about.
About 16 deaths. The FBI can have you for the rest. But I want you for those 16 deaths.
Get away from me.
Get away from you!
Stay away from me.
Get up!
Listen to me.
Come on, get up. As far as I was concerned, that was it. The girl was placed under protective custody by the FBI and the district attorney, who had worked out 75 counts on Masterson's indictment before I left. It's too bad that all of the next of kin of the 16 dead can't sit in the jury box. Expense account item 3, same as item 1. Expense account total, $940.20. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Remember, friends, to make every day more enjoyable, treat yourself often to refreshing, delicious Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum. There's lots of cooling, real mint flavor in every stick. And chewing Wrigley Spearmint helps keep you feeling fresh and alert. You feel better, work better, get more fun out of doing things. So indoors, outdoors, wherever you go, keep some healthful, refreshing Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum handy. To make every day more enjoyable, treat yourself often to delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars Edmund O'Brien in the title role and is written by Gil Dowd and David Ellis, with music composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Edmund O'Brien can soon be seen starring in the Columbia Pictures production 711 Ocean Drive. Featured in tonight's cast were Gene Bates, Howard McNear, Clayton Post, Harry Bartell, Hy Averback, John McIntyre, and Jeanette Nolan. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle. The makers of Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum invite you to join us next week at this same time when, from Hollywood, Edmund O'Brien returns in another adventure of
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Bob Stevenson speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.